It is Friday, and what that means here on RPG Elite is that it's Classic Tabletop RPG Friday. This is our standing appointment with a Classic Tabletop RPG, and our deep dive series that we are going through at the moment is with Dark Conspiracy, the kind of dystopian, supernatural horror, kind of a mixed genre kind of things, but it's mostly those two things there. Thank you and welcome aboard, folks. Today we're going to get into space travel, continuing our series on space travel, and we're going to talk about how to intercept and avoid with space maneuvering. So when you're flying spacecraft out in space, and you remember now, this is hard sci-fi. This is like real deal stuff. And once you guys see how they handle intercepting and avoidance, you're gonna be like, what? Because I was like, man, they serious as a heart attack about this. On the other side, as always, we got the question of the vid. Make sure you stick around until the end to watch that. Let's get going with this and roll that transition. Spacecraft maneuvers and movement in space in Dark Conspiracy is not as sexy as epic space battles and dogfights of the games with less hard sci-fi elements. However, it's necessary if a spacecraft has to intercept the International Space Station or avoid a rocketing meteor. In general, it's easier to intercept objects moving in the same direction and harder if they are not. To reflect this, there is the difficulty of intercept pie wheel, or at least that's what I call it. So let's take a look at this. I'm going to pull this up. We're going to take a look at this here. Let's say you have two objects, and let's say in this case you're going to have the shuttle orbiter down here and the International Space Station. And we're going to switch this up in a little bit so you guys can see this. So for this scenario, the shuttle orbiter is looking to intercept the ISS, the International Space Station. So on this pie wheel graphic here, the direction of the shuttle is determined by the arrow at the top of its nose right here. So it's going like in this direction here. The direction of the International Space Station is represented by the pieces of the pie and then this little triangle that's at the top here on the outside of this pie. This is pointing in the direction that the object, or in this case the International Space Station, would be going. Now this can be predetermined or you can roll this randomly. Now in our example, we're going to say that the ISS is going at a predetermined vector of 1 right here. So we're going in this direction. Since the shuttle orbiter is looking to intercept the ISS for a dock, it will subtract its transfer rating from the determined intercept value. If it was attempting to avoid the ISS, you would add its transfer rating from the intercept value. So I'm going to switch up this map real quick, and then we're going to be looking at the stats from the shuttle orbiter from before, if you didn't see that last video. So in this case right here, we have the shuttle orbiter right here, and we have that transfer rating down here, and that's a transfer of 1. Since the shuttle orbiter is trying to intercept the ISS, it is going to subtract this from that 1. Remember the number that was in the middle there? Let me show you that again. We had a number. This number here, this is the difficulty rating. So you're going to subtract that 1 of the shuttle orbiter with the space station over here, right? So it's going to equal 0. So right now we have a 0. So in this situation, the ISS over here wants the space shuttle to intercept. So it's going to kill its thrusters and it's going to make its transfer rating 0. And there's a reason for that, and we'll get to that in a second. Now, if you a member, we had a pilot. Our pilot's name was Jin Yu. And if you don't remember, because you didn't see the previous video, you can go ahead and hit that link down in the description so you can check that out. In that video, we know that Jin had a pilot rating of 5. And a pilot can attempt to further modify the Intercept difficulty by making a difficult task roll using their skill. Now, if you remember, something that's easy is going to double your skill. Something that's just average is just not going to do anything. You're just going to roll versus your skill. And something that is difficult will be half of your skill. And you're going to drop the fraction. So in this case, with a pilot skill of 5, Jin has a 2. And he's going to need to roll a 2 or less on a 10-sided die. Now, if the final intercept value is greater than or equal to 1, then intercept cannot be achieved. And if the result is equal to or less than -1, then intercept is achieved. Now, what we're trying to do as Jin is rolling this is we are trying to get ourselves a bonus, because if he makes this roll, he will get a bonus to add to that transfer rating to make it lower, because remember, he's trying to intercept, so he's going to subtract his ratings. Right now he's only got a 1 and it's at 0. So he's going to try to get it to that -1. So let's see what we can do here, and we're going to make a roll. All right, well, we only got a 4, so didn't happen. So at this point, it's at 0. Now, if the result is precisely 0, as we have in our example here, then the ships have matched vector. And in that case, then both objects are going to just be traveling in the same direction indefinitely. Now, there's 3 things that can change that, though. One is that one of the objects gains additional transfer value. That is what we were attempting to do with that piloting rating roll, right? We were trying to get ourselves some extra transfer with that roll. Didn't happen. Next is the opposite. An object can lose its transfer rating. We already did that also with the International Space Station over here when it killed its thrusters and made its transfer rating to 0. And the third one is that one of the objects just changes its course and could make the situation better, but we're in the best advantageous position that we can possibly be in because we have a 1. So that's the best that we can do. If you're looking at this and thinking, oh man, that's kind of difficult just to make an intercept or avoidance, guess what? That's exactly what they say. It is supposed to be difficult, not supposed to be easy. Now, normally in a situation like this, when you have the International Space Station, because remember, when the game was made, there was no International Space Station. So now this is something that you would pretty much have to add in there and everything that's happened in between if you still want to keep that hard sci-fi feel to it. But also in this situation where we just have the shuttle orbiter trying to dock, well, if there's nothing really going on, then there's no need to make them roll for it. Just say they docked, describe it, do a little medium level role play, and then go on about your business. However, let's say the situation is more like this. Let's say they're going towards the ISS and everything's looking cool until out of nowhere, there's a meteor shower and it's starting to hit the station and the space shuttle orbiter. And now they have to go and maybe repair one of the thrusters for the ISS because who knows, the thing went out or something, you know, just coming up with something off the top of the mind. Well, now it matters how fast that they can actually intercept, get docked, get in there, repair that thing, and get out from underneath the shower. So it let the story dictate when you're going to use this mechanic. Don't just do it just because, okay, we got a situation and we're just going to do it. Nah, if there's nothing going on, then just go ahead and let the story flow. Again, this is RPG Elite, and y'all know RPG Elite quality number 8 is huge. And that means It's about the story. It's not about the system. And so if it's going to hinder the story, then ixnay that stuff and just go on past it. But if you were to do it like I just said, then you've got tension, right? Then all of a sudden, the roles are going to add tension, especially in Jin Yu's case, because he's got to roll a 2 or a 1. So you know what's going to happen if he doesn't make the roll. How long is it going to take us? How much damage will we take? Will we take any damage? See, now you have all these tension going on, and now you have the attention of the players, because everybody is all in when stuff like that happens. Hard sci-fi in dark conspiracy. If you got any value out of this video today at all, then if you can do a brother a solid, do me a favor, please. Could you go ahead and over there with that little thumbs up like this, could you go ahead and crush that like button? Also, if you got any value out of this video and you want to stick around, I come out with videos every Tuesday and Friday. I was just thinking about this. I even came out with a video on time when I got COVID. I just remembered I've been like consistent on this, y'all. I mean, I got the video linked down in the description if you want to watch that video. But I was just thinking about it. I was like, man, I'm a little fastidious when it comes to this, making sure my videos get released. So if you want to stick around, go ahead, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. Let's get to the question of the vid. Space travel. That's what we're talking about here in this small mini series within a series. And I want you to think for a second. Film, television, you know, we've seen all these different sci-fi shows and how they portray space travel. Well, what television show or movie or movies, maybe it's plural, did you really like how they portrayed space travel? Let's go ahead. Let's get some engagement going down in the comments about space travel in your favorite movies and television series. And that, folks, will be it for me. That's gonna do it. That means I got to do my schnagglepuss.
So exit, stage left.
I got a game this weekend, playing a little bit of Numenera. Yeah, I'm excited about it too. Hey, if you got a game this weekend, happy gaming. I pray it is an RPG Elite session that is more immersive and enjoyable and meaningful. That's my new one, y'all, if you've been paying attention. All right, getting ready to get out of here, y'all. I got to do my thing. So peace, 5,000 leaps. Your boy servant is gone.